It happens to us all. You could be anywhere doing anything. Suddenly you receive a gift from your own mind in the form of the perfect beat. You know you have to record it before it disappears forever, and you're nowhere near the studio. That's when you bring out the Korg MicroSampler. The MicroSampler is a unique, powerful new instrument from Korg, keyboard pioneer since 1963. It puts some of Korg's most powerful sampling tools at your fingertips, only instead of pads, there are 37 velocity-sensitive natural touch mini keys. You get 5 different modes of instant gratification recording, flexible pattern sequencing with tons of hands-on control, and massive chaos-style effects. And it all runs on 6 AA batteries. So whenever you get inspired, you can make music. Now, let's create that beat. Plug the included metal gooseneck mic into the XLR jack on the front panel. Connect some headphones and power up your MicroSampler. See this big dial here? It's your friend. It lets you select one of the 5 different intuitive sampling modes.
One of the most unique aspects of the MicroSampler is that it lets you record samples 5 different ways. So, for example, if it's a loop, you switch to loop mode. If you want to record a one-shot sample, use one-shot mode. And you can do some transform-style stutters with gate mode. And then there are 2 more modes, auto next and key gate. And those make the MicroSampler really good for dissecting and remixing beats.
Let's start by recording a loop. So switch to loop mode. Press the sampling button twice and record the beat. Set it to trigger automatically. The MicroSampler will start when you do. Press the sampling button again to stop. If you want to keep the loop going, hold down the loop hold button and play the key. Now switch to one-shot mode and let's add a natural homegrown hand clap. Choose another key and press that sampling button twice. That gooseneck mic has a nice tight pickup pattern that rejects off-axis noise, so you can use it in noisy situations. Record the clap, then press the sampling button again to stop. Okay, now we have a clap. Let's thicken it up a little. Now you can play to different pitches all across the keyboard. Let's resample this clap with a few more hands. Play a few keys at almost the same time, then press the sampling button again. Switch from keyboard to sample mode to try out your new and improved clap. By the way, there's a generous amount of sample data that comes with the MicroSampler, including some stellar keyboard sounds. Pressing that keyboard button lets you turn any single sample into a playable instrument all across the keys.
We live in a sea of pad-based samplers, which are great for drums, no doubt, but why limit yourself? If you have velocity-sensitive keys, you can really play any kind of sampled instrument. Now this brings up 2 issues. First, keyboard samplers can be kind of expensive, and second, they usually don't take batteries. So the MicroSampler resolves both of those issues.
Supposing that beat needs a little outside flavor. Got a music player? Toss it in the holder, plug in the MicroSampler's line inputs, and let's bring the noise. Unlike one-shot samples, gate samples stop playing when you take your finger off the key. This is great for live performance with drum loops or sustained sounds like bass and synth lines. Now let's find another beat and have the MicroSampler automatically chop it up for us. Switch to auto next mode and the MicroSampler will record the beat, split it up, and put the individual samples on the keys you selected. You just turned a drum loop into a drum kit. Want to grab lots of little samples in real time? Couldn't be easier. Just switch to key gate mode, press the sampling button, and each key becomes its own self-contained sampler. Just press a key down to start sampling and let it go to stop. Now, in case you didn't notice, all the keys are labeled with useful tools, broken down into groups. You can access these tools by holding down the edit button and pressing a key. You can perform all kinds of edits including trim, normalize, truncate, pitch shift, reverse, and BPM sync. The backlit display tells you right where you are and keeps you in complete control. It even has an always active audio input meter. Now we have lots of samples to play with, enough to make tons of beats. Fortunately, your MicroSampler has a powerful, easy pattern sequencer which can store up to 16 patterns. Since we're remixing at this point, we might as well add some effects. Time to fire up the MicroSampler's powerful chaos-driven effects section. There are a total of 21 effects, including modulation, reverb, delays, as well as Korg's famous grain shifter and decimator. Let's apply the decimator effect to our original loop. Now the parameter and value knobs control two different parameters of the effect you've chosen, so tweak away. When you're ready, select a new key and press the Input Select button to select resampling. Start sampling and play the original loop. Fortunately for you, when you get back in front of your computer, there's much more you can do with your MicroSampler. After you download the free editor, librarian software and connect via USB, you can import, edit, and organize all your samples, then transmit them to and from the MicroSampler.
It's very easy to point and click your way around the editor librarian, and sending and receiving samples to and from the MicroSampler is very fast. It's also a great way to archive and back up your samples. You could even customize a bank of samples without the MicroSampler being connected, and then send it over to the MicroSampler whenever you want.
With its professional connections, your MicroSampler is compatible with every stage or studio setup, and it's completely reliable. It's got a tough molded casing with well-protected buttons and knobs. Its lightweight and carry-on size makes it the perfect road warrior. Wherever you are, no matter when the inspiration strikes, you need to be ready. And having a MicroSampler on hand is the perfect way to realize, manipulate, and perform your music. And when your beat hits the charts, don't forget how it got there. Check out the MicroSampler at your nearest Korg authorized dealer and visit korg.com/microsampler for updates, downloads, and the latest news.